Yo, what's up, guys? It's 9/11. 9/11. Man, what a day for America. But today was a pretty decent day for me. I traded a couple plays. I traded MNK from yesterday. Remember I mentioned it in a video that I posted that I entered after hours. So I did enter after hours and I got in at around 3.77, okay, with 900 shares. So I'm sure, as you can imagine, I was freaked out when I woke up at 4 or something in the morning and this thing was like right here, I think. It was somewhere around here when I woke up. Yeah, it was 4 o'clock. Yeah, I probably woke up right here. Yeah, it was at 4:30. I was like, what? But I knew it was a liquid, so I had a great feeling that I was going to come back down. So I waited. I was patient. I waited for that thing to come back down, and at the open, I covered up most of it or half of it at 3.47, and unfortunately, I let the rest squeeze back on up. I was up $300 at this point, and I let it squeeze on back up, and I covered it the other half at 4.02. I believe it was. Yeah, 4.02. Yeah, 4.029. And I took a gain of about $42. But minus the overnight fees at Trade Zero, I was technically down $85, almost like $90 actually. So that sucked. Being up 300 to being down $90. So that sucked. Okay, it squeezed on up all the way to 415, 420. Nice pullback, hard pullback, and I re-entered at around 380. I think it was right around here, 380. This thing grinded back up. I entered with 500 shares at 380. Grinded back up. I was trying to be calm. My plan was actually to swing this over the next few days, or at least till tomorrow. But after seeing this thing push on up, I was just freaked out. So I got out at 360 down here. I'm going to show you guys all those trades in a second. But yeah, I got out at 360. Clearly, I should have held. It's now at 325, 326. It's probably going to keep on going down. My initial profit taker was at 335. That's why I did not get out all of it right here, and that's why I didn't get out of it all right here, which I should have done, in hindsight, obviously. And I took away a great lesson from this. First of all, I need to get out on this type of strategy. I need to get out in here, okay? Because I'm going to show you guys a couple more plays that I was in today where I should have got out in this type of move, this hard drop off, because this hard drop off is only going to be followed up by a huge bounce. Okay, that huge sell off, there's going to be a huge bounce, bounce traders, or what do you call it? I guess bounce traders, right? Bounce traders are gonna buy it up down here at the 340 area, seeing that this thing held up at 343 pre-market, and they're gonna go for a nice play. And this thing went all the way back up to 416, so I should have covered it all up and reversed my strategy right here for this huge run up back on up. But I didn't, got squeezed, and I re-entered here and got pushed up and then pulled all the way back down to 360. And this thing's done. This thing is going to be all coming all the way back down. I say maybe 275 it catches itself, maybe even lower. I mean, it's up a lot. It's up a great amount. So it's probably going to keep on dropping. I wanted to hold and swing those 500 shares, but I just don't have the fucking balls to do it, man. I just get too scared out, and I need to correct that because there's huge potential for gains if I just put my emotions aside and just, swing these things. Okay, well, I wanted to show you guys the trade right here. These are averages because I averaged up, averaged down as well. So I got an entry at 3.77. That was the average. And the closing price at a 3.73. So again, I covered up at half at 340. Oh, 349. That was the number. 349 and the other half at 4.029. So that was that for a $42 gain. Now I'm going to show you guys the other play. It was RAD. RAD. Okay. So first it was actually MIK. And I mentioned all these in the video yesterday before I left for work yesterday. So overextended, abnormal volume. Okay, this thing was gapping down. I got in at 5:52 in the morning for an entry of 9.826. 9.826. So somewhere, I don't even want to find it, guys, but somewhere in here. Somewhere in here. So 9.826. Maybe around here. 9.826, okay? And then this thing just pushed on up and squeezed me out, and because 807 was my risk. 807 was my risk, and this thing just pushed on up. But then look what happened right after I got out. I literally got out on this candle right here. And as soon as that happened, boom, huge pullback to 990, little bounce, huge drop all the way to 960. So that would have been a small gain. I probably would have held the shares anyways, and it would have went back on up, and I would have probably covered it up for a loss, but it ended up not really going above 1025 with um, with strength. So maybe I would have stayed in. I don't know. You know what I mean? I got out right here, guys. I took a $74 loss, and now look where it's at. I mean, the thesis was correct. You know what I mean? But just the resistance was slightly off, and a few of these plays did this to me today, or one other play did this to me today. And look where it's at now. 950, 947, and just trending down. This thing's going probably all the way down to $9. And I got in at 9.8, what was it? 9.826. So, good potential right there. Got squeezed out. Okay, but I made my money back from MIK from RAD. This not so abnormal volume, but this thing has ran up all the way to 974, 975 from 5 something. So a 90% gain, and this thing was gapping down, and it slightly tested 915, 917 for a little bit, but I stayed in. I stayed confident, knowing that sometimes you got to give it a little bit of wiggle room. It eventually dropped on off, and I covered it up at 8.62, right, basically the bottom. You can't get any better than that, really. I mean, unless you got 8.57, but I mean, 8.62 is pretty damn good of an exit, and that's where I got out, and I took a $147 win on that one. Now it's squeezed on up, and it's looking to have a pretty solid green day. And then my final play was what was that revenge trade? Oh, I already went over it. Yeah, that revenge trade. It was pretty emotional trade where I got in at 3.8, covered it up at 3.6. Look at this, guys. Now it's touched 315. Look at that. That's incredible. 380 to 315. That would have been a 17% win. Man, I just totally flopped on this. Did not play this thing correctly. Had I got out right here or right here, I was given 2 opportunities to get out on my overnight position. I would have been up $300, and I would have had chances to get back in. Right? I could have got back in right here, risking off of the 425 area. These things, it's just very hard sometimes. Sometimes these things break on up, and you don't know how far they're gonna go. But that's it. That's it for the day. I'm gonna show you guys my journal in a second. Oh man, I don't think I can even. It might take a second, so bear with me. I'm gonna pull it up right now. But yeah, I mean, these are my trades for that. 147.22 and 74.72 for that, and then here's the $95. It was $100 minus $5 in commissions for the MNK revenge trade that I was mentioning. Here's this. Oops. Okay. Here's the summary right there. Average sold, average buy. Okay. And now here's my journal. There's my journal right there. So we're still going, we're still uptrending. Had that little dip from earlier this week, I believe. We had that $75 loss from this morning. This MNK, I put in the fees, so technically I'm down $90 from this trade. I did put in the fees though, so let me see. Yeah, I put in the fees right here, 130. So for the month so far, I am up $310 minus the 130. So technically, man, it's only minus 130. I'm only up $180 on the month. Not bad. I mean, we're in the middle of the second week of September. Could be way better. Should be way better. And I'm gonna work on that. But nice uptrending chart here overall, and I'm pretty happy about it. I am green, and that's what's important. That's what's important, and learning lessons along the way. But that's it. I'm gonna keep an eye on. Oh, I do want to mention some plays that I did mention in my video yesterday. Why I told you guys I was gonna try to get in on this after hours, but it was too illiquid for me, and you know what? The overnight fees were gonna be astronomical at Trade Zero, and I had no more trades available at IB, so I didn't get in on this. But I wanted 500 shares at 4.9. Look at this thing. This thing touched 405. Man, that would have been a monster trade right there. I also wanted to show you guys YUMA. Now, this thing's going to have more resistance, more volume traded probably on the day than this day right here with 22 million shares traded. But I totally knew the pattern. The first pullback is going to give you great opportunity to make quick money. Okay, once it does this nasty pullback, I guess from $5 all the way down to 4.52, and it bounces back up here to 4.9. You want to risk off of that $5 area and just ride this thing down. I haven't really calculated how much percent you can get from this play right here, how much you can average, or set a target for, but you could make some pretty decent money. I mean, right here, this thing would have made, maybe 18% because I have this thing in the way. Oh shoot. No, I guess 22%. Best case scenario, 22%. More like you should get like 10%. That's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. And this thing actually might hold. This resistance might hold from this day. We'll see, but there is a lot of I keep getting alerts for Yuma on my TOS, so I'm sure there's something extraordinary going on. Right there, shares more than double on Red Mountain Capital buying its debt. Okay, so it's getting its debt bought up by Red Mountain Capital. So that's probably a positive, but I think this thing most likely breaks out and pushes past this $5 area. But $5 is a very, very strong resistance area, so it might hold. So we'll have to just wait and see on that. I have a few plays I'm still looking at. I want to show you guys. I'm looking at obviously YUMA. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that for an overextension soon. I'm also going to be looking at MNK. That's going to be dead. AVEO. That's another good play. WPG. That's another one. Not home. YRCW. And I mentioned some of these in my video yesterday. It's just that they're gapping up still and still pushing on through. So, I mean, that's great. Maybe I'll try RAD, but I really usually don't like playing things that had a gap down and went red, had a pretty decent dip. But this thing kind of held up pretty nicely. So we'll have to see how that goes. Maybe I'll get in on that tomorrow. OMI, probably not, just because it did gap down. RAD did not gap down. I mean, this thing opened at 903 and it closed yesterday at 905. Slight gap down, but not significant enough. So I might get in on not OMI, RAD. And lastly, DSKE. This is something I'm also going to be looking at too. This thing is up a lot. ARA. This is another good one. Up over 102%. It's kind of a liquid, but we'll see about that one. And that's really it, guys. That's all for today. Sorry, I'm losing my voice over here. But that's it for today, guys. You guys have a good one. Have a blessed one. I'm gonna work on some other stuff now. My day's basically over. I'm gonna keep an eye on the markets though, see what's going on. But that's about it. You guys have a good one.